All right, folks, buckle up because I am on a revelation roll right now. Um, and I was just writing in my journal. um, Journaling is a really, really helpful therapeutic tool. If you have not given it a chance, I would highly, highly recommend. Um, I just could not write fast enough. um, my brain's just overflowing at the moment. So I just needed to start uh, videoing instead. So I'm going to read the first bit because I've realized the first thought I have, not always, but more often than not, the first way I think of something when I'm like having a clarity moment, it's usually, no, that's not always true. Sometimes I articulate really well in the first time. That was the point I was trying to make, and I was doing it so well. So therefore, immediately disproving. Anyways, I'm just gonna read what I wrote and then go from there. All right. Art forces you to at least momentarily gain insight, whether you realize it or not, into another person or community's perspective. The more art we consume, the broader our understanding of the world and the deeper our understanding of ourselves and each other. That is what defines art and separates it from pure entertainment. Entertainment triggers our lizard brain. Football, gladiatorial fights, scripted or like really contrived reality TV, all of that all of that falls under the blanket of or umbrella of entertainment. It's very late. I'm sorry. um, yeah. Real reality TV, however, it can be amazing. Like almost always, real pure reality TV where you just kind of get this window into other people's lives and other parts of the world. Holy fuck. Okay, so cool. Um, Entertainment is valuable, certainly. Do not get me wrong. We all need our lizard brain stimulated too. I've read books that I donated instead of proudly displaying on my bookshelves, watched shows and movies, and yes, even porn that I judged myself for. But my lizard brain is just as much a part of my humanity as the parts of my brain that light up like fireworks when I'm consuming real art. I came to this realization while watching Pose. Oh my god, it's amazing. Why did it take me this long to start watching it? I don't know. And marveling at how many times the shows, books, songs, stories, and performances that I've invested in have given me much, much more than I realized and much, much more than I gave just sitting there. This is why now is the first time world peace has been possible. This is where my writing trails off. So now it's just me again. This is why it's possible right now. I know it's bonkers. I know it has literally always been impossible throughout human history. And we seem to keep going back to that lizard brain when it comes to our interactions with each other. But if we can assert dominance over this planet as if we are superior to our nature, and if we can use our intellect and our curiosity, we can actually do this right now in our history. It's not too late. It is the exact right moment because for the first time in human history, we are interconnected globally immediately. We can find out exactly what is happening on the other side of the planet in a second at any given moment. That has never been true throughout all of human history. It's only been within the last, I don't know, however, really the last decade that we have been this interwoven, that so many people have had so much immediate access to so many other people, which means we've had access to so many other viewpoints. We've been able to learn from each other and about each other in ways that have literally never been possible before. We've never had mass consumption of art. I mean, you look at really good TV shows, shows that go way beyond just making you laugh or distracting you for a little while, but actually make you think. Shows like The Good Place. Oh my God, my favorite of all time. I really think it's my favorite of all time. Oh my God. And Pose is just blowing my fucking mind right now. Blanc. Oh my God. Oh my God, I love Blanc so much. Oof. I have a feeling I'm going to be crying through the next few seasons, but it's so good. I'm only in the first season. Sorry. There's just a trillion other examples out there. But like I keep thinking about recently, I don't know why I've been so obsessed with this, but I keep going back to the things that have meant so much to me, like the pieces of art that have meant so much to me in my life. Like I've been thinking a lot about Little Women, a lot. And I mean, honestly, the last time I read it was when I was a kid, but I've watched the movie 1,000 times, and I have studied Louisa May Alcott, literally, like in school, studied her for this really intensive paper, and have been to her family home, which is down the road in Concord, so many times, and to, now I'm completely nerding out, her family also lived in this commune. Oh my God, this is why I've been thinking about her so much. I would have loved the Alcotts. I would have loved them. We're the same people. Same kind of people. That's my tribe. But Fruitlands Museum, which is now in what is Harvard, Massachusetts, but it used to be Lancaster, Massachusetts, which is where I'm sitting right now. This is where my home is. Long story, but I am living back in my home. If you are wondering about that, if you happen to know me, or are wondering why there's a different background, that's another story. I will get there. Don't worry. Yeah, but I've been thinking about Little Women a lot. I've been thinking about Jane Austen in general, her entire oeuvre. I've been thinking about Sarah Bareilles a lot, Amy Mann, their lyrics. Oh my God, if you are not familiar with those women, their music, their songs are just poetry. Oh my God. So good. So good. Anyways, I've been thinking about all of that, and each time I've been watching a different show, and I've been binging lately, trying to figure out, like I've been hunting for messages, really. I realized this like a week or two ago, I think. I've just been like picking shows, maybe without even realizing it, that I feel are going to tell me something I need to hear right now, because I've been in this problem solving mode for the last couple of months as I've been trying to work through my depression, and I think I have, yay. Because I feel, I can feel it. I think I have figured it out. Again, another story. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah. So I've just been trying to figure out what it is that was blocking me. What lesson did I need to learn that I wasn't learning? And I've been pulling like important things from the shows I've been watching, and Pose is the most recent, Killing Eve. It's amazing how you can watch a show like that, and because the premise is assassins are heavily involved. It's an amazing show. It's a fucking amazing show. But like you learn, it makes you think a lot about human nature and whether or not there is such a thing as evil, or whether or not we are all just the result of the trauma we experience, does, which can and does shape our brains. It has a major impact on our chemical balance, our neurons, all of it. When we experience trauma, high stress, anything like that, it has a negative impact on our minds. So, I mean, I'm going way out of my realm of expertise. This is for I don't know, neurologist or someone to figure out, or probably already has. There are many, many brilliant people out there, but maybe we have assumed for too long that the correlations we see between brain scans of mentally well people and mentally ill people, like I'm sure there are cases where they're able to compare before and after, like someone had a traumatic brain injury, you can, if they happen to have had a brain scan in the past, they, you can see the immediate difference. But if it's something that happened when you were so young that like you never could have had a brain scan, or you never would have been part of a study, or there wouldn't have been any documentation around your state of mind, the way you behaved. Like, what if things, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to say that there aren't truly purely neurological disorders. 100%. There definitely are. I'm saying, what if some of what we currently classify as neurological disorders, what if the cause and effect really needs to be reversed? What if the trauma happened so young and is buried so deep that when we see someone who has, oh my God, who's psychotic, right? I'm sorry. It's, yeah, 11:30. I did not really sleep last night, and of course, I am a little bit stoned. That's when all of my revelations happen. Whatever. What if, I know these are fictional characters. I know they're fictional. But what if people like Dexter and Villanelle or Oksana, whichever name she'd prefer. Villanelle, I guess, is her chosen. I can respect that, no problem. God, I'm really going off the rails. But it is powerful. It makes you think. It makes you question. What if the pain some people experienced when they were so little, from the beginning, like what if when they cried, they didn't get picked up or soothed, they got angrily jostled or told to shut up or ignored? What if that was their first experience with another human being? What if they grew up from the very beginning being made to believe that they did not matter, that they had no value, no worth, they added no good to the world, only bad? If you experience that kind of pain when you are that little, I mean, you would have to bury that shit so deep so deep just to survive, just to make it from one day to the next without going absolutely crazy or hurting yourself. And trust me, I know a little bit about wanting to hurt yourself. And if you have to shove that down so far, for some people, it must reach a point where you have to shut down your humanity altogether. You have to stop seeing other human beings as fully human, or as human at all, as because you feel like you don't matter. You feel like an empty shell. You feel like you have no worth, nothing to give, no purpose. So why would you think anyone else does? If you've never been given reason to believe that of yourself, why would you believe that of anyone else? Why would you think anyone else was attached to their life, cared whether or not they were going to die? You don't care whether or not you're going to die. I mean, your instinct is still to preserve your life, but you really don't care if you end up going because you're not attached to anyone, anything. It's just okay. Well, this is what's happening now. Here we go. I think we have created evil. We've created villains. We've created so much pain and perpetuated it for so long that this is how it manifests, because it has to manifest. There can't be that much pain without it being present. But shows like Pose, which I might have been covering up the mic, I'm sorry, with my finger. If the audio sucked, my bad. I'll try to get better at paying attention to that. Okay, I'm not gonna. I don't want to ruin the show for anyone who hasn't started. Oh my god, it's so good. Watch it. But there's a character who is just so pure and so heart. Just she's all heart. She had to have experienced at some point, and I know this is a fictional character again, but you can take lessons from fictional characters too. She has spent her entire life being told by the world that she cannot be who she is. But she experienced enough kindness to know that she deserves to be exactly who she is. So she is fighting for herself. She is doing everything she can to live authentically and survive and have some semblance of happiness and peace and family. And she wants it so badly for herself that she creates it. She makes it happen around her. And her kindness and compassion and love spreads to the people she touches. And that's what kindness does. The only reason I think my response to trauma included devoting my whole fucking life to trying to reduce the pain in the world, including my own. It was not, I'm not saying I'm an altruistic angel. It was definitely selfish. But that was my response, not hating the rest of the world, not being cruel, not passing along my pain when, at least not often. I have made my mistakes too, don't worry. But I have tried very, very hard not to pass my pain on to anyone else. And I had more of that thought. And it was because of my mother. She failed me in some big ways, for sure. But I understand why now. I can see the root of it. I can see how she really truly was doing her best and loving me as well as she could, and desperately trying to build me up, and showed me nothing but kindness. She was never cruel to me. She was never cruel to me. Hurtful a few times, sure. Again, we all have our moments, but never cruel. And I think that's why it was so confounding and kept me stuck for so long. I could not wrap my mind around how that woman, with all of her compassion, all of her kindness, all of her just this natural instinct to help people, and she truly does have it. I have witnessed it in action a million times and experienced it personally a million trillion times. It pours out of her. How she could allow me to stay in danger as a child just befuddled me and made me feel like I didn't want kids. I've always loved kids. I could eat, oh, babies alive. They're so cute. And the cheeks and, oh my God, the giggles. Oh, I love kids. I taught kindergarten for a while, like substitute taught. I babysit for my friends any chance I get. And I can't, the last time I charged, I was like in my early 20s. Like, I think I was still in college the last time I charged for babysitting. I love it. It is a pleasure to hang out with kiddos. And I never wanted kids, and I couldn't understand why. It didn't make sense. I just didn't feel this desire to have kids that everybody else seemed to feel. And for me, I've realized now that it was because I couldn't understand how my mother had made such a huge error in judgment regarding my safety and well-being. And if she could do that, then I could. And I refused to hurt a kid the way I had been hurt. I could not stomach the idea of hurting a kid like that. So I would hang out with them, and I'm still happy to hang out with them, spend time with them, take care of them while I can, but leave all of the big life guidance and decisions and choices to their parents so that I'm not the one responsible for fucking them up and for making them wish they had never been born. I didn't ever want to bring a life into this world for it to just be miserable. Like, because that's how I have felt forever, and it has not been fun. But now I want kids. Now I can't wait. Oh God, I want to foster. I want to adopt. I want to be like Blanca, and it doesn't have to be on paper. It doesn't. I've realized. Sorry, I know I'm jumping all over the place at this part of the course for me. Pose is helping me redefine family in my head. I've realized I've known this about myself, that I've always been a rule-abiding citizen, that I, was a goody two-shoes, teacher's pet, followed all the rules, never shoplifted, never drank when I was until like months after my 21st birthday. Didn't start using weed until it got voted to be legalized for recreational use by Massachusetts. It hadn't been enacted yet, but I figured I was fine at that point. um, and I've never understood why, like, where that came from. I figured I was just like so desperate to win approval, and I mean that was part of it for sure. Like I was playing by the rules, doing what I thought I had to do to be lovable, but that wasn't. I had like a light bulb moment earlier today. Sorry. My brain is bouncing around all over the place. There's been a lot going on lately. That's why I haven't been posting videos. I've had a lot to process. I've lost that thread. I got slightly distracted by an ant on my wall. And then, yeah. Now the thoughts are gone. Sorry. That's life as an imperfect human. But Pose was helping me redefine family. Oh yeah, like I never questioned the rules. Like, I grew up questioning why things happened, but I followed the rules. I didn't question those, and I've been finding myself questioning the rules a lot more lately and realizing that they're all bullshit, really. It's all just socially constructed bullshit. And the things that some people get thrown in jail for just while they're trying to survive, literally just trying to survive, they're in such desperate situations that they have no other choice but to resort to crime. And then we throw them away to go provide us slave labor. God, we're so fucked up. While other people do truly, truly, truly horrific, horrific things that result in millions of people dying or suffering. Billions of people are suffering. Those people get our admiration and respect and praise, and oh my god, that is not the way to live. Anyways, Pose is making me redefine mother. And I've been called a mother hen many, many times since I was like a teenager. I think it's just always been my instinct to try to take care of everyone else. I think because I knew what it was like to not be taken care of. But I've kept a sort of rigid view of what constitutes family. Like, it has to be legal. You have to, like, have signed documents. You have to go through an approval process if we're talking about fostering, adopting, all of that. Some people just need to be taken in. And I've done that for friends before. And there's one friend I've been thinking about a lot as I've been watching this, and it's been making me regret that I haven't spoken with him in a few years. So I actually texted him earlier tonight. When we were first hanging out, it was right after we met in the loony bin. So it was after we had both been discharged. We were hanging out. And And he's like, oh God, I've lost track now. Like much, much younger than me. And even for his age, not, I love you, you're great. But not the most mature individual. Hasn't done a lot of introspection, let's say. We're going to work on that. I love you, Schnookums. But it got to a point where I felt like I was his mom. Like he was sleeping on my couch a lot of the time, and when he'd be here, I would pretty much mother him. Like, he's very, very, very gay. There was nothing super platonic. Super platonic. Yeah. But like, he started to feel more like my son, and I was starting to resent it, because at that moment in my life, I needed support. I needed a mother. I felt like I had lost mine forever. Like, I was always going to feel that loss, and I couldn't come to peace with it. I didn't realize it, but I was terrified that I was going to make the same mistakes that my mom did and hurt someone inadvertently. And mothering someone was the last thing I wanted to do right then. So at one point, I just got fed up with feeling like I was the only one doing the caregiving in that relationship, and just had to cut him out of my life for a little while. Sometimes you need to do that to take care of yourself. It's okay. But now that I have done that, and I don't feel that void anymore, I don't feel like now I know, now that I understand how my trauma may impact decisions I make as I go through whatever parenting is going to throw at me, I can keep a lookout for it. I can be hyper vigilant, aware. I can keep myself in check. I can work with Samira to deal with any issues that come up. I can talk with my partner if I have one. Hopefully. Again, I'll get you caught up. And we can work. Yeah, we can work together. Anyways, I know I've been rambling for a long time, and I can't even remember what my original point was. I'm ready to play mom to that friend, though, was where I was going with that last thought. Blanca has inspired me, and I have that kind of love to give now, without fear, without needing the same kind of love returned. That's been a big problem for me. I've desperately needed it returned, and other people weren't raised with the incredibly kind mother that I was, so they did not have the same capacity to give me, to return what I gave them. And that's been hard for me, because it just feeds into this narrative I have in my head that I'm not worthy. But I am. I know that now. And you are too. You are. God, we all are. We all fuck up. We make mistakes. We make bad choices. We think bad thoughts. But none of that makes us bad people. It means that we have been influenced by the world around us. It means that we have been hurt by the world around us, by the people around us, by the events that happen in life. And we're at this point as a society where we put the pressure on each other. I just remembered I had written, sorry. We put the pressure on each other to do it all on our own, fend for ourselves. We judge each other as weak if we need help, but we all fucking need help. All of us. I get another beautiful. I didn't learn this for the first time from Pose, but I love the way Pose made me think about it. The power of forgiveness, the power of kindness. It is healing. Asking for help feels like weakness. It feels like vulnerability, but it is strength. Giving help is not, it's not charitable. It's not heroic. It's human. It feeds our souls just as much as the person that we're supporting. Every single time I show some kind of act of kindness to someone, it feeds my soul just as much as it's feeding theirs. It helps me heal a little bit every time I feel like I've helped someone else heal even just a little tiny bit, given them one brief moment of not pain. Sometimes it's all we can ask for in life, and I will take it every single time that is true. But yeah, the original point was art forces you to gain insight. We have the internet, we have mass consumption of media, we have this incredibly unique opportunity right now to keep consuming the stories that matter. Consume art as much as possible. Yeah, enjoy the things that help you just shut down and enjoy that lizard brain, whatever. Go nuts. But don't let that be the only thing that you're consuming. Consume real art too. Books, movie, go to museums, go watch a play, walk through a sculpture garden. Whatever it is that you want to do that is drawing you, just lean full on into it and take whatever lessons it gives you. And just let your mind keep expanding, keep having things that you've seen or heard or understood for a long time, heard 1,000 times. Sometimes the way, if you're at a certain point in your life, if you're in a certain place in your head and you hear the right words in the right context at the right time, everything can start clicking into place, and suddenly you understand something that you couldn't understand before, and you feel liberated and released from whatever it was that you were trying to understand. Every time every time that I can better understand my own story, like I know my story, but I did not understand my story until very recently. I couldn't. I wanted to my whole life, and not understanding it was why I was depressed. It really is. It's why I was depressed. I spent so much time in my head just worrying around, trying to figure out what the fuck was wrong with me and how to make it better, and what the fuck was wrong with the world and why we keep hurting each other. And now that I feel like I actually do understand all of those things, or really all of those things, I don't feel the depression anymore. Okay. I know I ramble a lot. I realize that may lose me credibility with a lot of people. That's fine. This may not be your cup of tea. Whatever. I am going to keep doing this, though, like this, because I don't want it scripted. I don't want any part of this to be like like entertainment. This is not entertainment. I guess this is art. I never would have considered myself an artist before, and I still don't. But I mean, after that rant, I don't know how. I guess this is art of some kind. I hope. And I want it to be real. I want it to be authentic. I want to normalize flaws. I want to normalize having brain farts and stumbling over your words and having frizzy, ridiculous hair and humidity and not being even close to perfect. So, yeah. I know this may not be everyone's preferred thing, but I feel like this is the way I have to do it, so I guess you're stuck with me like this. Sorry. Not sorry. Take care of yourself.